Hi, I'm Mikata, and this is Conan the Barbarian. This is last Horrorgath, and I've won the lottery. And we're finally in Hell difficulty 12 hours into the playthrough. This part aims to show my clear speed, my kill speed. So things are dying, especially when my mercenary is able to apply amplify damage, but it's by no means quick. I'll continue to be player's aid. And at the end of Act 5, I started to feel that my damage output dropped. Like monsters became way stronger with way higher health pools. So Hell started to feel more and more like the challenge I had not I had no idea I had signed up for when I increased the difficulty in the early part of my playthrough. I decided to use the Gull rune that I found earlier and to make it a Mal rune to downgrade it and to make a Prudence rune word. Now again, the theme that's something upgraded is changed in BTDiablo. Oh, Prudence rune word provides cannot be frozen, and at that point in Hell difficulty I still had no cannot be frozen, and uh, Prudence also runs all resists, damage reduced and magic damage reduced together with the cannot be frozen. So at this point I switched my armor and I had going forward I had cannot be frozen. Back on the theme of my weapon had started to fall off tremendously. My damage was no match for player's 8 hell difficulty. We get to Andariel, who decided to give me a hand, and I'm very grateful for her input in this playthrough. So, just in a second, the bosses go pretty well because of the crushing blow I have on my gloves. So, Andariel has a really interesting double drop of Executioner Sword. At first, I saw one of those, I picked it up, I put it in my cube, and then I moved around, and when I made a step back, I saw the other one, and I was like, didn't I put this into my cube? I gave Deckard Cain the opportunity to identify those two executioner swords, and this is the rest of the gear, and this is one of the swords, and it is pretty sick. Again, continuing the theme of doubling the damage, even more than doubling. The other one is also good, but not as the one to the right. So 242 minimum to 400 damage is pretty nice upgrade. I had to sacrifice a lot of stats to equip it, but that was something that I can work with going forward. Then in Act 2, everyone's favorite Maggot Lair. This was pretty fun run, pretty scary, pretty exciting. So I decided to not leap through the content. That's something I'll uh, get back on in a minute. I just flat out the whirlwind and I decided to see how far I can go, hopefully without dying. At this point, I'm not playing hardcore, but I'm playing like hardcore. This is No Deaths, Player Z, Barbarian, BTDiablo. And you can see dual aura over here in level 3, but I'm like, there is no way back. Let me teleport over here. More auras, more uniques, more champions. No way I'm fighting this. There is no getting back. My mercenary is down. Immune to physical, cold enchanted, stone skin. And I was like, there's only one way out from this. Forward. And I continued whirlwind. Grab the Staff of King and exited. Classical Maggot Lair, didn't I tell you? One act further is, of course, Act 3, where the forest had different opinions on me progressing further. So you can see this Thorned Hulks absolutely demolished me and my mercenary. After I had equipped the Executioner Sword, my health pool dropped from 3000 something to 2200, which is a pretty decent difference, and I felt it. Although these Thorned Hulks have applied amplified damage, I can barely kill them even with the big damage sword, and Act 3 fights were just like that. I decided that there is barely any chance I can fight through everything, through all these monsters. So I decided to use the Maggot Lair strategy and see what an aura party this is. I think that's the first save and exit where I'm absolutely scared from my character's life. For the hassles that I had in Act 3, the game decided to help a bit again with this lemon room drop. The notable thing here is that I'm not allowed to use metal armors, which means that getting a true open socket on a leather armor is pretty rare, and I was trying to do that until the end in vain. So I couldn't get a treachery, I couldn't create treachery for myself, and I decided not to do it for the mercenary as well. In Durance of Hate 3, I decide to play sneaky and to teleport by the wall, uh, pass by the bigger group of council members, and to fight these uniques and Wyand Voidbringer. I said it. And to get to the Mephisto fight. I managed to do that. At this point, things were looking okay despite the different auras. So, but when I got to Mephisto, there was another unique somewhere that was providing concentration aura to Mephisto, and you'll see how fast my health drops when Mephisto hits me. Again, despite the fact that he has amplified damage applied. Mephisto moved to this corner where he was able to uh, attack me, to target me. So behind this column, in BTDiablo, Mephisto can fly, and it is way more challenging compared to Diablo to Resurrected. So dropping Blurt on me, like like it's nothing. To make things even worse, the council members decided to join the party. So this became really messy. At some point, I thought that I had Mephisto in the bag, and in the other moment, the council members arrived, and they were like, "We'll join the party, we'll provide aura, we'll provide hydras, health regeneration, healing." It's all pretty fun. So I had to kill all the council members, and then at the end, I was able to get Mephisto next to the entrance of Durance of Hate, not where he usually sits, but next to the entrance of the level, and I was finally able to defeat him after the council members had healed him almost to full. Nothing too interesting from the drops, unfortunately, nothing too interesting to notice. For the ancients, I tried uh, with a life tap wand, so I can apply life tap on them, and I can heal even better when I Whirlwind. I saw that Korlik uh, did not hit that hard, but he was stone skin, so I decided to switch back and gave my mercenary the weapon with the amplified damage on striking, so he can apply amplified damage and I can actually kill Korlik. But overall, the fight with the ancients was uh, way better than I had expected. Not as scary as you will see in just a moment. And welcome to the Worldstone Keep, where I'm greeted with dual aura party from all sides, and I just exited. A couple of attempts later, I was finally in level 2, and notice the time, 18 hours and 12 minutes. At that point, I'm over trying to escape dual aura uniques and the monsters. I had been through this already, so I decided to fight. But 18 hours and 12 minutes. And 30 minutes later, we're still here. For 30 minutes, I was able to clear one block. I should turn the map at this point. So you can see it's just this block around in level 2 that I was able to clear for 30 minutes. Come on, man. Toggle the map, please. This is the block I cleared for 30 minutes. More than 30 minutes at this point. So I decided, screw it, let's do the Maggot Lair trick and see how far I can go. And unlike the Maggot Lair, this feels way scarier. In the Maggot Lair, only one monster could hit me, or a couple of monsters could hit me at most. It turned out that my level 2 map was really nice. Just a turn to the right and I was able to get to level 3, where things can get even scarier. I'm not sure if you expected that, but just getting into Worldstone Keep, these Death Lords are immortal. Again, the mercenary applies the amplified damage, and I'm whirlwinding English, and the Death Lords have buffed their frenzy, have stacked their frenzy, and they just refuse to die. And again, the team, after a few attempts, I gave up and I was like, okay, let's whirlwind forward to this corner, and then I died. I think it was uh, the spirits, the ghost spirits, the bone spirits that got me. But this is 19 hours, 3 minutes, my first death at Worldstone Keep, level 3. So if this were a hardcore run, it would have run here. The reason I played it on softcore in BTDiablo is because I can't revive my characters like I can in Diablo 2 Resurrected, no hero editors. And I decided to complete the run. I was that far and switched to players 1. I was mentally exhausted from all the fights and the slow progress, and I was like, let's switch to players 1 and see what's up. And I had expected that I'll just melt everything. Uh, like it would be mowing the lawn with the sword and we're winning. But that was totally not the case. Even players 1 Worldstone Keep was pretty scary. Like this scary. Again, dual aura monsters, triple aura monsters, insane density. The density apparently is updated, is improved in BTDiablo. This is unbearable. I don't think this is possible to clear on a playthrough on Players 8. I believe it. Clearing this is merely impossible. It will take me days. I can see doing the Worldstone Keep for 10 hours on a playthrough like this. And just in case, if you expected this to be all, I got to the throne room and it turned out the game had more for me. After level 3, when I got to level 4 and I saw ghosts, I was like, I'm not resetting this one. I finally got to the throne room, I'm not resetting. And the problem with ghosts is that they drain my mana. And without mana, I can't whirlwind, I can't sustain, I can't life leech. So clearing this, again, the improved density was another pain. So this is like 30 minutes later into the run. Absolutely, absolute madness and insanity. Do you know that the hell difficulty label in BTDiablo is changed to insanity? That's why. What you see is here on the screen. And after I was able to enter the the throne room, the rest of the fights, the bell waves were nothing. Like 10 monsters with a single aura. Ah, so I was able to defeat Bale on Players 1, and this completed my Conan the Barbarian run in BTDiablo, where I tried Players 8, but I died and I couldn't complete it. And there he is, Conan the Barbarian, who couldn't survive Players 8 BTDiablo. So my stats, a lot of strength for the Executioner Sword, a lot of dexterity for the sword, pretty solid resists, like something I had not mentioned up to this point, but my build was very, very decent for the Worldstone Keep, and I got melted, I got annihilated. So 1200 or almost 1300 life before the battle orders, 8 life leech, 13 mana leech, some faster run walk, faster cast rate, faster hit recovery. I have cannot be frozen, 7% crushing blow on the gloves. These gloves are another pretty decent craft. The two poison and bone skills add nothing, but the rest of the uh, mods are pretty decent. So again, the Executioner Sword, I added an Eth rune for some minus target defense. Because at this point I'm level 84, but when I started I was something like 75, and hitting monsters level 85 was not that easy. The circlet you saw me gambling with an North rune, the Prudence runeword, the crazy amulet from Duriel, a decent amulet with fire resist at bonus attack rating lifesteal, another crazy craft, dual leech ring with strength and dual res and a little life. Again, crafting in BTDiablo is really solid. If you haven't, you should definitely give it a try. And I used this uh, safety belt, safety craft for the magic and damage reduction for the flat damage and for the poison length reduction. Maybe the 4 flat damage is the best one. On swap, I have the usual teleport stuff you probably saw me use here and there on this run. I forgot to mention the skills to this point. Battle orders 20 points, sword mastery 19 points because I put a lot of points into Iron Skin. In BTDiablo, it provides half percent damage reduction per level. So at level 20, it is 10% damage reduction, which probably helped a lot. I, I don't think I would have made it without this damage reduction. A few points into natural resistance. Something that I used early on in the run was increased endurance. A reworked skill, the increased stamina skill, providing mana and life leech after kill. So starting with a leap attack on level 18, with this skill I was able to sustain and to recover my mana pretty well, and it was very decent. And in the combat skills, 20 points into Whirlwind. I remember BT Neanderthal saying that he had fixed Whirlwind in BTDiablo. I'm not sure if it is only the damage, if only the damage is increased, but if there is something in the mechanic that he was able to do as part of the mod, a mystery for me. You can let me know in the comments if you know the answer on this one. Emilio, Grim Sight. I upped this one. I found it as a normal version of the sights, whatever that is. And the main reason I use it is the amplified damage on striking. The requirements also help. I mentioned about the upgrading recipe for normal to exceptional versions, and that's mainly 1 million gold, basically 1 million gold. But the recipe to upgrade from exceptional to elite includes standard of heroes. So I had to kill the Ubers so I can get standard of heroes, so I can up something to the elite version. So not possible on a playthrough, apparently. Koifa Glory Helm for the faster hit recovery, for the life, for the resists, for the hit blind target. That was also helpful. Uh, Another crafted item. I rolled this one in early hell, in late nightmare. It's pretty decent roll, and I put a couple of soul runes for the flat damage reduction. In BTDiablo, mercenaries can have amulets, belts, and rings. One to cold skills, and Emilio uses Holy Freeze. Something that, in hindsight, probably could have been a better option, so I can have more physical damage, so I can sustain better. I did not think of that at the time. I leaned on the crowd control from the Holy Freeze. The belt is with a lot of life and fire resist, and something interesting, I'll add it here for just for the end. In BTDiablo, the proc affixes are upgraded and they look something like this: 25% chance to cast level 30 Chain Lightning, in this case on attack. So the Whirlwind can proc those two. And also, although it sounds pretty strong, 30 level Chain Lightning, in reality it isn't that strong without Lightning Mastery, without minus Lightning Res. I had tried on this run with the Whirlwind. It works, but on players 8 it just doesn't cut it. The other ring is replenished life, so Emilio can stay alive just a bit more. In my stash, I'll show the Lem rune I told you about, and you saw earlier that I couldn't make something with it. I think I mentioned I told, oh, something I had planned to do. Sorry, almost forgot. This is basically a progression of my weapons. This time I decided to keep my weapons. So I started with a malice, then I put a couple of uh, diamonds in this sword, and diamonds in BTDiablo provide add damage. Then the bastard sword you saw dropping from Mephisto normal. I tried this sword, 40% chance for level 36 lightning on attack. Again, it just doesn't cut it on player's 8. Dacian Falx, you saw again that I crafted. The Shadow Fang, upgraded to the exceptional version. And somewhere, oh, I have a Hustle sword as well. I made this in the Chaos Sanctuary, Act 4, Hell difficulty, so I can proc the Burst of Speed, and I was one step further. I could be one step quicker. Again, due to the challenges, to the rules for this challenge run, I sticked on using only one two-handed sword. Although this combination of having the Hustle sword probably in a better base, I don't remember if I found a 3-open socket. This is the Executioner sword that I could have done a Hustle runeword in. I could have repaired it to drop the eye level to 25 and then Larza kit for 3-open sockets, so I can do a hustle in this one, and then to use two executioner swords and have higher damage because of the fanaticism aura. And this will be the end. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you so much for staying with me for this lengthy video. I really enjoyed this one. It was, I had not expected this one. I've already told you that. I hope you liked the video, you subscribe to my channel, and watch my next videos. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.